Hello. Today this is going to be a political video. So if you're not interested in that, tune out now. So generally I'm a fan of the vlogs that don't deal with issues, but I didn't vlog or do anything I don't do anything interesting in these vlogs usually, because I don't bring the camera with me everywhere. I probably should start. Maybe I will if I start getting more viewers. So today I'm going to do something more political and more interesting to change things up. And today, first of all, if you are for Trump, you may want to tune out now. If you're against Trump, welcome. You're like most of the sane American populace. Today I want to talk about the Trump wall, but not the whole, it's stupid, it's racist, which it is, but I'd like to talk about his plan for the wall. He does have an actual plan, a written out plan of how this wall is going to work, and I have it down here. That's why I'll be glancing down, and I want to examine why this plan is stupid and pointless. Let's get started. So, first he introduces us to this section of the Patriot Act, Section 326, the Know Your Customer provision. Now, let's start out by saying, people don't really like the Patriot Act. Who likes the Patriot Act? No one likes the Patriot Act, so saying I'm going to use the Patriot Act probably isn't the best start, But let's keep going. So what this Know Your Customer thing basically says is if you're doing financial transactions, you must have an ID from your customer. You must have some kind of meaningful documentation that proves that the customer is who they say they are. He wants to use this power to force Mexico to pay for the wall, and we'll get to how he's planning on doing that. So on day one, he's going to promulgate. Now, first of all, that is a word no one has ever used unless they wanted to be a pompous ass. Promulgate basically means promote and make well known. So he basically could have changed this sentence to, on day one, propose a proposed rule. That's probably better. I mean, maybe not propose, but promulgate is just saying, I'm an ass, and I like big thesaurus-y words. But as Trump has said before, he does have the best words at his thesaurus' disposal. Let's continue. What he's going to do is take that regulation from the Patriot Act, and he is going to redefine applicable financial institutions to include money transfer places, such as Western Union. Now, let's stop. We'll continue on before we get back to that point, but I think that point is important. But we're going to jump back a moment first. It's getting a little brighter in here. Got to adjust the color back down. One more tick that way. That looks better. Sorry, gotta fix the colors. So, to redefine Western Union and account to include wire transfers. Also include that no alien may wire money outside of the U.S. unless said alien can provide proof of lawful presence. Alright, so, couple problems here. One, this is supposed to stop illegal aliens from Mexico sending money back to Mexico, and on point 2, which Trump lists here later, he's going to say how that works. The problem is, Western Union transfers a lot of money to a lot of places, and a lot of people use it, both for known transactions and lots of anonymous transactions, not just to Mexico, but to Europe and Asia and other South American countries. There are a lot of people who would not want all of their wire transfers to be in their name and forced on them. So, let's talk about whether Congress would actually pass this, first of all. Probably not. So what this does is he's basically making all these rules that he thinks are great because they can make Mexico pay. They also affect lots and lots of other countries. Let's continue. On day 2, Mexico will immediately protest. They receive approximately $24 billion a year in remittances from Mexican nationals working in the U.S. The majority of that amount comes from illegal aliens. Majority there being at most, according to statistics by the Immigration Department, not the Immigration Department, but the department that deals with immigration, their statistic says there's 56% illegal aliens. So at most of that $24 billion, we're looking at maybe 14 to 16 billion being lost. not quite the 24 he's saying. And most of that, 56% is not really most. It's a plurality, but most to me is like 80% or more. So, misrepresentation there. It serves as de facto welfare for poor families in Mexico. There is no significant social safety net provided by the state in Mexico. I'm not sure what he's going with here. Is he trying to who's he trying to win over with this? The Mexican government? Because he's just made it clear they don't care about their people. And he's trying to win over Americans? Because frankly, to me, it makes it sound like we're going to make Mexico pay or we're going to destroy the lives of all of the poor people who live there. That's not selling me on the wall. It's selling me on human rights violations, possibly. It doesn't sound like something the President of the U.S. does. It sounds like something the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia would do. Oh, of course it's darker again. I'm gonna leave the color as it is. Shades of me. So, on day 3, we tell Mexico and their government, if they pay the 10 to 15 billion in money to fund the wall, we will not pass this law. Now, that's not really how laws work, per se, and it's not going to happen in 3 days. Congress would probably take about 5 months just to debate whether they want to do this law, and that's just one of the pieces, the House or the Senate. What is the likelihood that the House and the Senate agree on the same terms of this ridiculous amendment to the Patriot Act, which everyone hates anyway? Ridiculous. And from there, he basically talks about trade tariffs and visas and other things. All of these things that, yeah, they might work on Mexico, but they would also do bad things to our relationship with every other country in the world. You can't have trade tariffs on a free trade partner without putting them on every other free trade partner. You can't say, I'm only tariffing Mexico. You can't do that. You can't say, I'm only not accepting visas from this country. Well, you can do that, but usually it's from war crimes. We can't say, we're not accepting visas from Mexico because they wouldn't pay for our wall. Yeah, that's not really going to hold up, and most of your constituents, if you are a congressman, are probably not going to want you to vote for that. So, what I'm saying here is Trump's big speech, his wall, is really stupid on its own, and the plan to do it is really stupid, and it relies on a concept that somehow the majority of Americans think all these rule changes are good, but more than that, that all of their Congress people think it's okay to pass these laws that would lead to huge implications across the rest of the world. I think the problem with Trump and most of his plans is his plans really have no basis in reality, and they make assumptions about the American people and about the American Congress that just aren't true. Most presidents are elected with, 52% of the vote or so. So about half of Americans disagree with whatever the current president is doing, but when you are trying to pass laws that so broadly influence America through the rest of the world, not just to Mexico but every other country, you can't alienate half of your population like that. It's just wrong. So yeah, I think Trump is insane, and I think the fact that he is the Republican nominee speaks volumes about our political system. But that's all I've got today. I am thankful we currently aren't living in a President Trump country. And on that note, have a nice Trump-free evening.